Thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for this invitation. I would like to talk about a representative survey that was just conducted. Conducted in 2022, and I think that the results might be interested those who are dealing with health issues as well. So in my presentation first, some issues about the aims and the scope of the research question, then the methods we used, and some results. So why citizens' opinion is important? Of course, we had lots of information. We got lots of information from the previous presentations, but I just would like to emphasize that 30% of the carbon dioxide emission is coming from the household sector. And also we have to take into consideration the vulnerability, the capability for adaptation, and the mitigation. And those can get via the knowledge towards climate change, also the attitudes towards climate change and the concerns, and also the socio-economic situation of the individuals, how they can react to the challenges or can't react to the challenges. So our questions were that what do they perceive? I mean, the citizens, is it something serious that they can see, or have they already adapted to the impact of the climate change? So this was a great sample survey conducted in 2020 in the summer after the first heat wave and during the second heat wave in summer 2022. And actually the main aim was to analyze or to get an information whether the land or living in a special land, I mean in a great plain or in a flat areas or in a hilly areas or in a mountainous areas, can affect the perception or the attitude of the individual's attitude on climate change. That is why the sample was quite big, and also it includes a representative part that was representative for the settlement categories and gender and age group and education for Hungary as well. Here are the lands we aimed that is based on the classification of the Hungarian Geographical Association, and as you can see, there are hilly areas, flat areas, and also there are mountainous areas, and also there are hilly areas and mountainous areas within this landscape classification. However, unfortunately, during the analysis, we had to face that there were some issues and challenges with the fieldworks, and also there were some the samples was a bit small. That is why we had to aggregate some different lands. Therefore, somehow we created two types of flat areas, and also there were the hilly areas was aggregated, and besides that there were some mixed areas. So actually, finally, we can't say real answers to the original question whether the land can affect the attitude, the pro-climate attitude and pro-climate actions, but of course we try to analyze some and to find other analyses relating to the to the attitudes, the perceptions, and behavior. So first of all, attitude. We asked the respondents whether how they can see the issue of the climate change, whether how important is the climate change. We listed the 12 social problems or social issues, including climate change and healthcare and other issues, and we found that in the first place the respondents found that the most important social problem at that moment was the inflation, and actually the climate change was somewhere in the middle. If we compare these results, a former survey that was conducted in 2015, actually we can find a very similar results, that climate change was somewhere in the middle as a social issue that is relating to the importance comparing to the other social problems. If you have a look at on this map, you can see that actually we can't say that there is a special areas, or I mean flat areas or hilly areas or mountainous areas that are more concerned about the climate change, so the pattern is quite mixed. Also, in our research, we didn't use any variable for health. That is why we thought that maybe the age group can somehow cover those social those citizens who are much vulnerable relating to the climate change or the impact of the climate change. And we suppose that maybe the older generation can have more impact on the climate change. That is why we were curious whether about their approach towards the climate change. And we could see that actually the concern was not the highest among them, and actually the middle-aged generation concerned the most about climate change, and it was the same relating to the health issues. Looking out from Hungary, there was a current survey by the EU, by the Eurobarometer, and we can have a look at on that as well, have a look at how the climate change is positioned between the social problems, and we could see that actually it is a bit upper than in Hungary, and the health problem, which was very specifically asked because it was focusing on the air pollution, was quite at the end of this list. If we have a look at on this map, we could see that actually the Nordic countries are concerning more the climate change, and it can reflect to the former presentation where we could see that in the Nordic countries faced the highest increase in temperature increase. What about the perception? We found some significant correlation between drought, mild winter seasons, storms, and more frequent heat waves, but actually these correlations was quite weak. So just show you some results. We could see that actually people living in the Great Plain in Hungary are concerned more about the droughts. This is the same about a mild winter. But actually, relating to the heavy storm, the picture is a bit different, and the northern western people are more worried about the heavy storm, or perceived actually more heavy storm based on this survey. And actually, the heat wave was quite mixed. I mean, relating to the results, and we can't see any correlation between the lengths here and the perception of heat waves. Back to the attitudes, we also asked the respondents whether who are who have the most important role to play, slowing down or halting the climate change and global warming, let's say. And we found that actually people thought that researchers have the highest role in that case, and also the economic actors. And if we have a look at on the lower part, when people had to assess their own role, that each person individually has a role in mitigation, we could see that the value of this responsibility, let's say, it's quite at the end of the list. And actually, we have faced the similar results in a survey in 2015, where we asked the same or a very similar question about the responsibility of climate mitigation. About fear and concern, we asked how worried are the respondents in 20 years' time climate change will cause problems in food supply or water supply and energy supply. And actually we can't find special patterns relating to land. On the other hand, have a look at on the age groups. We could see that actually, again, let's say the middle generation are the most conscious about climate change and are worried about the climate change the most. And actually, the young generation is on the lowest level. And somehow, in this case, we could see that. Relating both to food supply and energy supply and water supply, we found that the oldest generation has a higher concern about the future supplies. What about behavior? Behavior is very important because people can say anything that so they can say anything, and the attitude is different than what they did in the past. So actually we posed several questions relating to pro-environmental or pro-climate behavior or pro-climate actions, and I just picked up one, the use of rechargeable batteries, because this is the one that can achieve for almost all of the people. I mean, the using of car can lead to another results. So we could see that actually in this case somehow people living in the Great Plain are more has more pro-climate behavior. And actually we also try to find whether, besides the land, is there any other option or other variable that can affect the pro-climate behavior, let's say. We could see that actually the type of the settlements cannot, but on the other hand, the economic situation is clearly reflects on the use of rechargeable batteries, for instance, or in other cases as well on the pro-climate behavior. And have a look at on the age group, we can see that there are clear difference between the age groups, and we can see that actually the oldest generation are concerned or are acting less pro-climately. And finally, there was also an interesting research question whether those who are concerned climate change, whether how they are act or how they are behave. And actually we found that in several cases that, or in general, that only 1/3 of the respondents behave pro-climately, out of the people who are concerned the climate change. For instance, in the first case, how serious those who said that the climate change is a serious or extremely serious problem, they just acted, or 1/3 of them acted pro-climately. Or on the other hand, those who quite afraid or extremely afraid of the impact of climate change, 1/3 of them acted only pro-climately. So actually, this is not a very, how to say, a very ambitious behavior from the respondents, or maybe they are still, or maybe they are already adapted to the impact of the climate change. So to conclude, actually, as I mentioned, we didn't have any health variable. That is why in this presentation we try to focus on age group. Maybe it can be a marker for health condition, and we didn't find any significant difference between perceptions and concerns and age groups, but we could find some relating to behavior, that the elderly people rather act less than middle-aged or younger generation. And also we found that the age group or the middle generation, let's say, are the most conscious concerning climate change. And thank you for your attention.